Hi girls, today I'm going to explain the remaining concept in inheritance. I already explained you the single inheritance and other type of inheritance in my previous class. In this video, I'm going to explain the multi-level inheritance and hybrid and hierarchical inheritance. This is the multi-level inheritance. When a subclass or derived class is inherited from another derived class is known as multi-level inheritance. In this example, X is the base class of Y and Y is the base class of Z. So this is called the structure of inheritance. So here the base class is for the derived class 1, this is the base class. For the derived class 2, derived class 1 is the base class. So this is the concept of multi-level inheritance. So this is also the pictorial representation of multi-level inheritance. Here the class A is the base class for class B and the class B is the base class for the class C. So this is the example for multi-level inheritance program in C++. Here vehicle is the base class and then the class four-wheeler is derived from the base class vehicle, and then another class called car that is derived from the base class four-wheeler. So here the first base class is vehicle, the four-wheeler is the derived class, and then the derived class four-wheeler is the base class for the class car. So this is called the concept of multi-level inheritance. And then hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance is the nothing but the combination of multi-level and multiple inheritance. There could be situations where we need to apply two or more types of inheritance to design a program. For instance, consider the case of processing the student results. Assume that we have to give weightage for sports before finalizing the result. The weightage for sports is stored in a separate file called sports. The new inheritance relationship between the various classes could be given. This is the example of hybrid inheritance. Here the class is location and then a class game that is derived from the two classes, physics and player. This is the hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance A hierarchical inheritance is used to modify a class when it did not satisfy the requirements of particular problem on hand. Additional members are added through inheritance to extend the capabilities of a class. Another interesting application of inheritance is to use it as support to the hierarchical design of a program. Many programming problems can be cast into hierarchy where certain features of one level are shared by many others below that level. Hierarchical classifications of students in a university. Another example could be the classification of accounts of commercial bank also. Here you can see in this picture, the sport is the base class for the three derived classes and then this derived class is the base class for another two derived classes. This is called the hierarchical inheritance. When many derived classes are inherited from a single base class, it is called hierarchical inheritance. And then multiple inheritance. A multiple inheritance is a feature of C++ where a class can inherit from more than one classes. That is, one subclass is inherited from more than one base classes. Here, this is the derived class. This derived class has two base classes, class B and class C. So the syntax of this multiple inheritance is class, subclass name, colon, access mode, base class 1, comma, access mode, base class 2. So here, this is the derived class. This derived class has two base classes. So this is the example of multiple inheritance. This is class A, this is class B. The class C inherit both classes A and B. The access mode should be any of this one, public, private or productive. So this is the example of multiple inheritance. And then virtual base classes. When two or more classes are derived from a common base class, we can prevent multiple copies of the base classes being present in an object derived from those objects by declaring the base class as virtual. Such base class is known as virtual base classes. This can be achieved by preceding the base class name with the word virtual. Virtual base class is like the grandparent. The grandparent has two parents, parent 1 and parent 2, and the child is derived from the parent. In the above inheritance, B and C classes inherit the feature of A, and then the D is derived from B and C. There is an ambiguity error because the compiler does not understand how to pass the feature of class A to class D, either using B or C class. So, to remove the ambiguity, you need to make the class B and class C as virtual base classes. The keyword is class B : public virtual A and class C virtual public A. When the class is made as virtual base class, the compiler takes necessary care to pass only one copy of the members in the inherited class, regardless of many inheritance paths exist between the virtual base classes and derived classes. Here in this picture, this is the A is the base class for B and C, and D is derived from B and C. There is an ambiguity error because the compiler does not understand how to pass the feature of the class A to D either by using this path or from this path. So, to remove the ambiguity, you need to make the class B and C as virtual base classes. When the class is made as the virtual base class, the compiler takes necessary care to pass only one copy of the member in inherited class. So this is the example of virtual base class 1 and then class 2. Here the class 2, the base class 1 is declared as virtual base class. And also for the class 3, the base class 1 is declared as the virtual class. Here the class 4, 2 and 3 are derived. 2 and 3 are base classes for the class 4. So these are all the types of inheritance in C++. Thank you, guys.